Hi, team. I'm Fitz Koehler, your very noisy race announcer and host of the Fargo Marathon show. And holy smokes, did we have a lot of fun this weekend? That was incredible. Fargo Marathon 2022 in the books, and it was outstanding. In fact, I'm supposed to say Essential Health Fargo Marathon because we had an incredible title sponsor. But we're going to get into all that, and I'm going to introduce the man who makes it all happen year after year after year, our founder and race director, Mark Knutson.
Hey, everybody.
How are you, Mark? How are you recovered?
I'm getting there. I'm getting there. Sunday was a tough day. Sunday night to Monday, I slept like 100 hours, and then Monday was a good cleanup day. Today was a great cleanup day. We got a lot done, so it's going well. Yep, going really well.
You know, it's as I announce all these races around the country, most of my race directors are committed to Friday through Sunday. Right. Not you. It's Monday through Saturday. It's one heck of a commitment you've made to your community.
Yeah. Well, we have a great community. The community that supports the event, both Fargo and Moorhead, and again, whether that's sponsors or volunteers or participants, the city, the city itself, the city of Moorhead, city of Fargo, both of them are great to work with. So yeah, it's fun. It's good. Knock on wood, we with the exception of the youth run, we that got a little bit wet, but not really bad. And kids love running in the rain. You know that they're stopping and opening up their mouth and trying to catch raindrops in their lips and their mouth. And it was great.
You know what? When those I would say it was like the last 50 people got wet at the end of the youth run. And I had made some comments to some of the moms and kids running. And I just said, well, now you have a better story to tell. And they're like, yeah, they were so proud and pumped up about the rain. Yeah. So perhaps those were the lucky ones.
Yeah. Yep. No, we were very fortunate. And as you know, Marathon Saturday was almost ideal conditions. Yeah. I mean, it was maybe a little chilly for, say, someone from Florida who's maybe a little used to like 80 and humid. But yeah, we were like 36, 37 degrees at the start. But we had no wind, and it was really, you were working your tail off in the dome, but we were outside, and as the sun was coming up, it was just a really beautiful start to the race for all of them, the half, the 10K, and the full. It was really just a great start to the race. The wind was light, which when I say the wind was light in Fargo, it's almost an oxymoron, because light wind in Fargo, that happens 4 times a year. So we got it on Saturday, May 21st.
Crazy. Yeah, it was. I'm getting an echo. Oh no, Mark, do you have earbuds?
I don't. I'm sorry.
All right, that's okay.
I'll mute when I'm talking.
Okay, sorry, I forgot we had that. Or I should say sorry. I'm still talking like I'm in Fargo. Yeah,
Yeah, you betcha.
For sure. Yeah, it was incredible. Hey guys, I see a bunch of you watching. Feel free to use the comments section. So tell us which race you ran and what you loved about your Fargo experience, because this is all about you. Mark and I have some stories to tell, but yeah, and we want to hear your experiences too. And we had so many PRs on Sunday, Mark, and I can tell, obviously I don't know what everybody's fastest race was before, but I'm really engaged with our athletes. I'm always watching, and you could see the leaping and the shouting and the fist pumping is really intense when someone PRs. And I also say, hey, John Smith was at a PR, and so many on Sunday.
Yep. Yeah. We talked about it on the pre-race show, about the fact that we're so flat. And I kind of joked about we make up for it by being windy, but we didn't have the wind, as I mentioned. So we're flat with no wind, and that makes for some really good race times and some great finish times. And yeah, we had a lot of fun. And yeah, you were at the post-race party. We talked to how many people from around the country that just said, "Man, we had the best time." A lot of them PR'd, a lot of them, Boston qualifiers in the full, and so we were really blessed with an amazing day for Saturday.
Absolutely. So, our viewers are starting to chime in. Hey, Debbie, congratulations on your half. We got Jennifer, ran the marathon for the second time. Oh my, PR'd by 21 minutes with an injury.
That's a big PR. Huge. Good job, Jennifer.
That's absolutely huge. Randy Zimmerman, great job as usual. The wins were nothing, and I was just spectating, and so many new runners were so impressed and will return. I will be back next year volunteering. Best job ever. Thank you for volunteering, Randy.
Randy's a great friend. Lives out the western side of the state. He's a great guy.
I really like North Dakota, Mark. This is something I've learned is I really like what's not to like, right? And then Chris Mulliner, BQ'd and 24-minute PR.
There you go.
We sprinkled some fairy dust on that start line. Hold on. Okay, tune up for grandmas. Also have an injury. Love coming back to Fargo. Ran with my sister. I always think it's nice when sisters like each other. My sister's not so nice, so that alone impresses me. Oh, and you're getting a swag suggestion, Mark. A blanket.
It's a good idea. I like that. Actually, not a bad idea.
Cozy stuff. Oh, and another PR right here. First time half made. Oh, okay. Yeah, that is a PR. First time half made your goal of under 2 hours. Congrats. That's quick. Okay, Mark, I made you a special surprise. You want to see it? I can't hear you. I still can't hear you.
And maybe.
No, it's a good special surprise. In fact, I made it for everybody. So I did not take the pictures, but we got a little race recap video. So away we go.
Sorry, that was so great. Makes me want to do it all over again. What are we doing this weekend?
That's right. That's not come back. Are you kidding?
That's a great video. That was so much fun.
Oh, we did have such a fun time. And anyone who, if you've not participated, do not underestimate Fargo. It is an absolute blast. And then there's all these really unique, clever perks built in. So I want to talk about that stuff. We have so many audience comments here. So I want to grab some of these, Mark, and you can unmute. Carolyn Hansen ran the half in the 5K, and then her son ran the youth race. 13, had a blast. Love running Fargo. Did the fall in this one. Oh, she beat her time from this to last Fargo.
Perfect. Good.
Megan loved it. The volunteers, the crowds, the support, encouraging words from fellow runners. Can't wait for next year. Registration's already open, correct?
Yeah. We opened it right away the very next day.
Very smart. Yeah, you get a lot of credit for those photos being up instantly.
Yep.
Almost in a weird way, instantly, like you have teleportation of photos.
Scary. Oh.
Thanks for a wonderful weekend. 8th year, sub 255. Wow. Kevin, nice 2-2.
Kevin's a longtime runner, Fargo, out of Minneapolis. Amazing. And he does it all for charity. World Vision. I mean, he's amazing. So there's my boy Todd Yackley on our marathon committee. Fitz, you remember seeing him. He's amazing. He has back injury and he's like throwing sandbags all weekend. I'm like, Todd, please. And he just kept going and going and going. And just one of the many great marathon committee members we have. So
committed to you because you've created something extraordinary.
Kathy, part of our charter member club, Kathy Conwisher, she's run everyone, and her husband Marvin's run everyone at some distance. So 10K, half full. Great supporters of the marathon.
Smart folks. And greatness. All the music was on point. Big shout out to all the bands. Yeah, you do a really good job setting up a lot of course entertainment.
We do. we take pride in that, and it's just like we've got the same bands come back, the DJs, the people love to host them. They have their parties out there. They're having fun. So it's a good time for Fargo.
So I'm going to start at the start, and I'd like to start on Saturday and kind of move backwards, but I think the Dome start is maybe not something people consider. I have a friend of mine, Dave Thompson. He's a big Disney runner and he does all these other races. And I mentioned Dome when I posted some photos on my Facebook page. And he was like, that really makes sense. But folks, you have a comfy, warm, cozy place with chair backs. Start your day. There's incredible gear check. We have people, it almost look like either a homeless shelter or a hurricane evacuee. All the runners are lying on the ground stretching.
I guess you're right. It's funny because we for years we were at the Fargo Dome, and it was always about finishing in the Dome. And so I'm not kidding you. We used to start the race out on University Drive, which is outside. Everybody would huddle inside the Dome, and then they'd like scoot out to the outside and they'd run. I'm like, what if we started inside? Like, it took me like 9 years to figure it out. I'm like, why don't we start inside? And then we're like, oh, okay, that's a good idea. So but you're right. And myself I run, you know how it is. It's not fun to have to go sit in a cold porta potty, 20 minutes before the race. And, I mean, it might be an okay weather day, but it's always chilly. And then you got to take off your clothes and throw them in a bag and then go jump in line. And so the Fargo Dome is really, I can't say enough about it. And the staff at the Fargo Dome, some of them have been there from the first year we did it there. I mean, 18 years later, I mean, I'm talking to them, coming back on Monday, and they're like, "Hey, Mark," and it's like homecoming with friends. But really, and I actually take that to all the other races we do. Dick Beardsley race, the Dick Beardsley half marathon we do in Detroit Lakes. We start and finish inside the hockey arena. And the mini marathon, the Halloween race we do in Fargo, we start and finish inside the Civic Center. And I mean, it's a nice. It was 37 degrees, I think, at the start on Saturday, which is perfect for running. But if you have to stand outside for any length of time waiting for that start line, it gets chilly. So we're very fortunate to have the ability to start and finish inside.
Yeah, and it's great. You don't get to enjoy much of the start line because you're setting up the course and stuff, but I have great benefit because as the announcer, I'm surrounded by spectators and participants, and it's just a really engaging place to be. And before we get into the nuts and bolts of lining people up, I'm able to just roam around the floor comfortably and meet people and introduce them to the rest of the people. And many of them said that helped them make friends on race day. It's a fabulous gathering place.
Yeah. And a huge shout out to you, Fitz, because a good case in point was Friday night. As you know, we were doing the 5K on Friday night, the Friday night 5K, And I'm out there. I'm not much on the podium. I'm not much on the stand, but I'm out on the course. And at like 6:21, I'm moving people around for traffic control because that thing starts in 9 minutes. And we were having some issues. We were having some road closure issues, and I knew I didn't need to worry about the start line because you were there. You're a pro. I'm like, when the race starts. I just know I have to have this thing ready by 6:30 because Fitz will get them off on time. You'll do the national anthem, everything rolled. And I came back and stressed out, pulling my hair out. I came back and everybody's like, "Oh yeah, it was great. The national anthem was great. Fitz was great. Everything was perfect." So if there are any race directors or budding race directors out there listening, and you want to hire somebody to take care of your start, finish, and all things entertaining with your race, dial her up. I mean, you can find her. You can find Fitz. I mean, it's great. I love not having to worry about that. When you were doing Wonder Woman for us, and all those things, is like I don't have to worry because all I need to worry about is make sure the course is good to go, and you got it covered. So kudos to you. And it was the same thing for Saturday morning. You know that. I mean, we were there, but I took off after we said hi to everybody. I took off and I'm out on the course, and I'd rather be out in the course talking to runners and high-fiving people, and I'll let you take care of all the good stuff inside.
Well, it's high praise to have that faith, and yeah, it's just high praise. And I only get to do what I do well if the race director has set up all the other elements, because I have been at the mercy of things when they haven't gone right, and then it's my job to try and cover up, right? Make light. So I don't have to do those overtime awkward experiences because you create such an exquisite experience. So, all right, I want to talk about a few of my favorite things. First of all, the energy at the start line for Saturday. I have to give big extra points to all of our athletes because they were so happy. They were just in such a happy mood. And when I asked them to make lots of noise, they made lots of noise. And I feed off that. That's my drug, is runner noise. So it was just such a happy environment. And I love that they showed up ready to have a good time. And oh, wait, hold on. I'm getting a great compliment. I can't let this pass. Excellent finish line dancer. Thank you so much. It's also on my resume. But we have some interesting characters that I'd like to share. And well, first of all, let's talk about Tom Perry, Mark. What would you like to share about Tom?
Well, how much time do we have? If you ran 20 marathons in your life, that's a big deal. If you ran 50 marathons, you'd be like, that's crazy. If you're on 100, the guy ran 600 marathons and throughout colon cancer, survived that, continued to run during that process, took some time off for some treatment and stuff, but 600 marathons. He ran last week alone. Fargo was his third marathon last week. He ran 2 marathons prior to Fargo so that he could make Fargo his 600th. And he's just, I don't know. I mean, superhuman, like incredible, and honestly pretty humble, really. I mean, he was at the press conference. He was at our speaker panel. I mean, the guy could walk around and expect people to bow down to him. And he's just very humble, very just grateful for life, much like you, grateful that, you got through your cancer and you succeeded and you went on to do great things, and you continue and you will do great things. And so it's crazy. Tom Perry was great. Right? He paced too. He paced a 6-hour marathon group. So we put him to work. It's like, you run 600 marathons, we're going to make you work for it. So he was great.
Yeah. And to clarify, Tom still right now, he's living with a stage 4 prostate cancer diagnosis. So that hasn't gone away, but he is exhibit A of living with cancer. And my treatment was much, I had a 1.5 years of chemo and stuff. and I did my best to live with it, but I wasn't running marathons. This man, he is superhuman. And he also is so committed to his fellow runner. He really just wants to be a part of the running community and takes such great pleasure in us that he keeps going. And I think that's going to be his secret to long-term longevity, is to just keep going, right?
Absolutely. Yep. Absolutely. And was he hopefully he'll be around for 700, 800. Yeah. Guy could probably do 1,000 marathons, I'm sure.
Okay. And speaking of, so I tend to welcome the champions from my stage. But then after the real speedsters come through, I get down in the finish line chute. I still have the technology to welcome people by name, but I really like high-fiving the runners and escorting some through. And I think we passed about the 6-hour mark. We're getting close, well, before the 6-hour mark. And these two gentlemen come through, and one of them's wearing a 50 state shirt. Now, Fargo has a ton of 50 staters. And if you don't know what the 50 state challenge is, it's someone who's committed to doing either 50 halves or 50 full marathons in all 50 states. And there's a club. And Fargo is the marathon in the entire state of North Dakota. So we have a lot of people coming to Fargo. And so these two gentlemen come through, Rich Holmes and Dennis McCarthy. And I think Dennis was he 60 something, and Rich was 70 something, and Rich had on the 50 state tank top. So I just wanted to investigate a little more. I felt like there was something there. So I go back through the finish line. I said, "Hey, Rich, turn around." That's all on the microphone so everyone can hear. I said, "Rich, how many, or Dennis, well, which one?" Yeah. So I started with Rich, this guy. And I said, "How many marathons have you done?" I just knew it had to be some great amount. And he says, 802. Fargo was his 802nd marathon.
No way.
I think it was his 7th time doing the 50 states. So like, okay. And then he asked me, he goes, "Well, talk to Dennis." And I asked Dennis, who's originally from Ireland, "How many have you done?" Dennis has done 444 marathons. So I've got these two there with about 1,200 marathons between them. And then 80-year-old Jim Simpson comes through. And I welcome Jim in. He's not wearing any fancy stuff. And Rich and Dennis go, "Hey, talk to that guy." I said, "All right. Hey, Jim, how many marathons have you run?" 2,122.
Jesus.
Is that crazy?
And that's where Uff-da comes from. That is where Uff-da personified right there.
You betcha. Yeah. What? 2,122 marathons. Now, all I had to do was ask. They could have kept going. Between them, there were 4,000 marathons.
Wow.
Ish.
Wow. Yeah, it's amazing. And you've done a marathon. You know how grueling it is, how hard it is. 2,000. I don't know.
Yeah, and for those doing the math, trying to figure out, I mean, I'd have to delve a little deeper. But Jim, who's done 21, 22, he's 80. That is far more than one a year for quite a while. And they actually do. They travel around the country, and they'll find a marathon on Saturday, and they probably went and did one on Sunday. I don't know where, but they either got in a car or got in a plane, train, and found one. But what we know for a fact that Jim, for example, has had 2,122 amazing days.
That's just insane, but awesome. I mean, just awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, proof of a life well lived. Okay, and then I have another story I wanted to share. And please share away, Mark, but there's a few that I earmarked. There's this woman, Tiffany. I was in the hotel with my girlfriend, Tina. She came from California to actually support Tom Ferry in 600. And so Tina and I are standing across the hall in the hotel, and this pretty lady walks by, and she looks fit. I could tell she's one of our runners. And I say, "Hey, what distance are you running?" She goes, "Are you talking to me?" I said, "Yes." She said, "I'm running the full." And so we get to know her. She's from DC. And I said, well, I look her up and down. I go, "Well, you look like a 3:45 marathoner, right?" She goes, "That's my goal." I said, "It's your goal?" She goes, "Yeah, my previous PR is 4:05. So she's trying to PR by 20 minutes. And so we befriend Tiffany. She comes she becomes one of our BFF. Great girl. Tiffany Ma is her name. So Tiffany, uh, she lines up, and at about the 3:40 mark of the marathon, I start telling the spectators to look for her. I said, I met this woman, blah, blah, blah. She's trying to PR by 20 minutes, and let's see if she does it. And sure as heck, at 3:44, I see her name pop up on the announcer mat, and she came in at 3:44:02, destroyed her PR.
So awesome. So awesome. So much fun. And of course, she joined us afterwards at the 27th mile party afterwards. So she was in a good mood for sure, as we all were. So good for her. Congratulations. Yeah. Again, it's a flat and fast course. There's no doubt about it. I mean, we have to create hills in order to have
People down.
Yeah. It's super fast. So we're grateful for that. And in spite of that, we, as you remember, the pre-race show, we talked about how we changed the course. I was a little worried about that. We knew there were a lot of turns in the course. We knew there was, a few things that we had to adjust to make the course turn out to be certified. But gosh, for those people PRing by I mean, a 20-minute PR is huge. To PR by 3 or 4 minutes is great. 20 minutes, and she wasn't the only one. I mean, you said with a couple other people that commented, hey, 21-minute PR or whatever it was. So yeah, we're super excited about where we're at, and makes me excited about 2023.
And so we're not promising a 20-minute PR, but there's a good chance that if you come to Fargo, it could happen. Okay, there's one more guy I wanted to share. And I thought this was really special too. He was really excited to be a part of your event. This is Daniel Chapin, and he is working hard to be the first athlete with Down syndrome to accomplish the 50 half marathons in 50 states. And so, again, he was super excited to be there. This was his 36th half, or his 36th state. And he really wanted to be on the Jumbotron. So as Daniel crossed the finish line of the race, I had him pause there so he could just be front and center on the Jumbotron. And yeah, that was pretty exciting. He ran with his dad.
That's awesome. And of course, I was there, so I don't know these stories. But again, for you to know that, and for you to to call that out, number one, to make sure that he stops on the finish line. Again, these are things. Fitz, you love the runners. I love the runners. We want the runners to have a great experience. So thank you for that. And that is an amazing accomplishment. I mean, he's only 14 states away. So he's got it. Yeah, good for him.
He sure does. And I really love his family support, and just exciting to be a part. And so a lot of people, when they talk about running, as you know, they talk about the speedsters and, are you going to win? I mean, my mom would ask, like, are you going to win that? I was like, no, I'm winning nothing ever. I will never, ever, ever win a race, but I go and I exercise and I have a lot of fun, and it's for everybody. I mean, possibly the running royalty out on this course was 80 years old, and he finished close to 6 hours and 2,122nd marathon. Wow.
Yep. That is definitely something to be proud of. Wow.
Yeah. And then the other people that get huge credit were the spectators, because we had obviously a lot of 10K athletes and half marathoners finish before our marathon champion came in. And as I got notice that he was coming around the corner, I asked them, I said, you guys make the dome shake. And they did. They blew it up for both the male and female champions. And it was great. That was the other clever part about the dome, not just the warmth and the stuff. It was loud and raucous. It really captured the energy.
Yeah, it is. It is rare, because at finish lines, and you've done millions of marathons as you've announced, but it is great to have the seating right at the finish line. I mean, you were on top of the runners as they're coming in, and I have been there. I wasn't this year, but when the finishers come in, and yeah, I mean, it makes you feel like you're a rock star. and you got them going, and yeah, it's a pretty awesome feeling for the runners, and the Fargo Dome is great for concerts and sporting events, and it's fantastic. So we're grateful for that.
Well, the other thing is the spectators, how many of them end up like leaning against a fence waiting for their person for 6 hours or however long it is? Those chair backs, the arms, it's a really comfortable place to be. Thank you, Erica. Yeah, the champions were super exciting. So what was your favorite part about being on the course, Mark? What'd you see out there?
You talked about it in our pre-race show. I love putting on a pair of work gloves and just being out there and making sure things are flowing, and I had some awesome volunteers out there that were directing the runners. We meet with them in advance, and because we had to change the course, we had some issues where the full was going to catch the half, and there was going to be a little bit of crossover and things like that. My favorite part of just being out on the course, I got to go out in front of the half. The crowds were out in great stride this year. The bands were playing. They weren't worrying about rain. They weren't worrying about the cold. It was a little chilly, but they were for Fargo, 37 degrees. That's like shorts weather here. So people were out having fun. Sunny, beautiful morning. We had our kind of behind the scenes issues where we got things fixed, but the runners didn't notice anything. And it was just, I don't know, it's just a really good feeling to be on the course, high-fiving runners as they're coming by, and some of them shout out, a lot of locals who see me, and they're like yelling my name, and hi Eric, I saw you two out there. So I saw Kevin Zanker out there a couple of times, and I mean, he's just such a great supporter of the Fargo Marathon, and an awesome competitor. I mean, sub 3. I don't know how old he's like, he's a little older than me, but he's super fast. So I that's my favorite spot to be on the course and seeing what's happening, and then of course the 27th mile was pretty cool too. So I thought Elvis was pretty cool. So
let's say it again.
Elvis. I thought Elvis at the finish line was a pretty good ad.
He's fantastic.
Yeah, he was pretty great.
Yeah, and not only is he personally fantastic, but the getup, his Elvis outfit, and the car. What kind of car was that?
It's a Chevy, but it's a beautiful Chevy. It's a classic car, convertible. And that's Dan Wagner is his name, and Dan has been part of the Fargo Marathon for years. Normally you'll find him out at mile 25, high-fiving people in that last mile. And we talked about this in advance. I said, Dan, why don't you come into the Dome and be at the finish line? And we were on Facebook today. I commented. I said, "How many pictures did you take?" He had like 3,000 pictures of people that day. It was great. And you Friday night, you were there with him and the mayor. And I mean, like the pictures were. I never saw any of this until today. I'm going, "Oh, those are awesome. Those are fantastic."
Well, at first I like posed with him, and then I thought, no, this is karate Elvis. We don't have to do karate. And then I used to actually compete as a kickboxer. So at some point I was like, oh, let's kick. And then one of my kicks kind of got carried away, and I didn't even know it. He was arching back. It made for the best shot ever. So
yeah. So he's great. We really tried to have some fun with it this year, and that was a really good addition.
Hey, you're getting a shout out to your first aid crew.
Oh, got your ankle in. Yeah, I mean, our first aid, the weather was perfect. So our first aid medical team, the Essential Health medical team at the finish line, they were kind of bored on Saturday. I went in there and they're like, twiddling our thumbs, like, could you give us something? Could you give us some kind of a crisis? Like, I got nothing. I said, I want you guys to be bored. I don't want to have to worry about anything. But had something gone wrong, they were right there. They would have nailed it. So
yeah, they sure were. And it's actually one of those things that I noticed, like, they haven't been busy at all, because I mean, I'm at these finish lines every weekend, and I see people. It's the lean, the stagger forward. There was really none of that. We had one person purposely lie down after he crossed the finish line, but he didn't really need medical attention.
Sure.
So well done, Mother Nature and Mark Knutson. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so you mentioned mile 27, and I have to give you big credit because I actually got to earn a medal at your race.
Nice. That's awesome. I mean, that was. We're going to keep doing that. The 27th mile at Broadway Square in Fargo. That was amazing. Our shout out to our friends at Marsh McLennan for sponsoring it. Shout out to Guys and Dolls Band for playing the best music ever. That was fantastic. And what was really fun, as you know, there were so many people from around the country. I talked to people from Dallas, New York, California, Seattle area. I mean, Colorado, and that's great. I mean, that's what we want to see that. And I don't know, we gave out jackets to the marathoners, which in hindsight was a pretty dang good idea because it was kind of cool. It was, it might have been 45, 50 degrees there. So everybody was wearing those warm jackets that we gave them. And we just had a really good time. That was really fun.
So one of the things I really loved is the fact that we could have fun, because quite often a race will have just the little finish line celebration directly after people cross the finish line, but it was a Saturday night.
Right.
And so that's the genius of it all is, I mean, even I wasn't leaving. And I think this perception for what people think I do, like, you're in LA, you're partying. I'm like, no, I gotta be up at 4:00. I'm eating dinner at 4, trying to go to sleep at 6 and some weird time warp. But at Fargo, we actually got to go out and have some fun. It was a Saturday night. There was nothing to be up for in the morning. So the post-race party was great. And then downtown Fargo was a blast. A bunch of us went out and watched karaoke, and you just can't do that with a Sunday event.
No, that's right. And I love Saturday races for that reason alone. And we really do want people to stick around and hang out in Fargo and have some fun. And as you saw, and you've been here before, this is your third time, I think, being in Fargo. There's a lot to do. There's there's all kinds of stuff downtown, and yeah, we had a good time. Karaoke. I really wanted to get up and do some Def Leppard for you guys, but I kind of hit the wall by about 11 o'clock. I was shot and was going on 26 hours of no sleep, and it was time for me to go to bed. But it was a fun time. I'm glad you stuck around.
Yeah, you get full credit for putting your name in the queue to sing. I'm sorry it didn't work out, but you get full credit because you tried.
I sang in the car ride home. So.
Oh, lucky them. Sorry, I missed that.
Good for the Uber driver, right?
Lucky Uber driver. But yeah, so if you're watching this and you're thinking, oh, should I come to Fargo? There's a bazillion reasons to come to Fargo. And like I said, they're all really clever. It's the Dome and Elvis and the PRs and the after party. It makes a lot of sense. So you had an entire week of activities, Mark. Give us the rundown. Start with the cyclethon and go from there.
Absolutely. The cyclethon kicked everything off on Monday night. That's an event that's been around now for 6 years. One of my favorites, actually, because it for those people who don't like to run or can't run, or they had knee surgery or something that prohibits them from running, it still allows them to be part of it. They can still do 26.2 miles. They can do 15 miles. Buffalo Wild Wings is our sponsor, and they're the best host ever. You start and finish there. You go in and it's Buffalo Wings, and everybody's having a really good time. It's a really nice kickoff to the marathon week for us. And then that rolls into Tuesday night, which is of course the Fargo Dog Run. And we pulled from Fargo and turned it into Fargo and Fur for furry friends, furry dog friends. The Fargo Dog Run, presented by Nutrisource is really it's pretty crazy. If you have a dog and you didn't do it, you haven't done it before, you weren't part of it this year, just look into it next year. We want you to come out. I mean, how many dogs do you have, Fitz? 2 now?
2. Yeah.
I mean, it's like the place to bring your dog to meet other people and to meet other dogs and hang out. And we do about a little over a mile walk, run. I'd say 65% of them walk it, but it's so much fun. The photo ops from the dog run are amazing, and it's just it's a really nice, easy event and lots of fun. And so that's Tuesday. Wednesday we take a day off and kind of catch our breath and start getting prepped for the for the weekend, the races, the road races that are starting for the weekend. And and one of the more stressful ones is probably the kids race that happens on Thursday night, because I refer to this as herding cats. And it can be, but we've gotten a lot better with it. And those kids, I mean, you saw it. The energy is just, I mean, it's insane. These kids get to start and finish in the dome, just like mom and dad do on Friday or Saturday. And to think, these kids they're watching their college football stars from NDSU play inside the Fargo Dome, and now they're on that floor. They're on the same floor as those big time college football players. They're coming across the finish line. They're looking up and seeing themselves on the jumbotron. And I mean, just think of that as a kid. It's just amazing. And when I think about it, from a broader spectrum, you think we want those kids to love that and say, I want to do this, keep doing this as it instills this spirit of, hey, running is a good thing. Yeah. Exercising is a good thing. And that's, I mean, what we're fighting against across the country. I mean, we're fighting, for our kids to get out there and stay healthy and stay fit. And so when we can give them that experience and get that medal and they wear their sack pack to school the next day, I think it's fantastic. And so we're excited for that, for the kids, and we need to breed future marathon runners through the kids race.
Absolutely. So I want to tell you about a couple of the kids. So, and it's every type of kid. I hope anyone who's not imagining this properly, it's all the kids, many of their parents participating, a ton of parents. It's really a family affair. And as Mark stated, this is the way to set your entire family up for a long lifetime of athletic adventure. And it can be as simple as putting on your shoes and going for a 1 mile walk or run. But most of the kids were super fun, excited, and happy, and really rowdy. And then at the very end, there was these two little boys. We had a half mile and then a 1 mile event. And these two little boys who did the 1 mile, they come in together and they had kind of grouchy faces. And I have a policy that you got to put your hands up and you have to celebrate. And these boys come through looking grouchy. And I walked over and I said, hey, guys, when you get to the structure, put your hands up and smile. And this little guy, he looks at me, he goes, I will not. And I said, I go, okay, well then keep your hands down low and make a cranky face. And he goes, how dare you?
That's the best.
I almost died. He was so funny. So lots of funny personalities there, right?
That is pretty good. That reminds me of, so we dovetail into the next event, which was a Friday night 5K. And we hire great groups to come out and thank you, Sue, for that. I love seeing kids bring their medals to school, and next year we need to get 3,000 kids to that race. But so Friday night we're doing the 5K, and we have a lot of volunteer groups, and a lot of them are like dance teams and cheer teams, and they're fantastic because number one, they bring energy to get the runners excited. And number two, they know what they're doing. They're very good. And so Friday night we're doing the 5K, and I come to this intersection, which is part of the 5K route, and I see these two little girls there, and I swear to God, I mean, they might have been 10 or 11 years old, maybe 11, probably 10. And they're waiting for their adult to get there, who wasn't there at the time, but they were hanging out there waiting for the race to start. And I drove up and I said, they didn't know me from Adam, right? So I'm driving up in this pickup and I'm like kind of checking the route out, and I go, are you guys here? I mean, do you have an adult coming or your parents coming? And the girl looks at me, she goes, no, sir, but you need to turn your pickup around and go the other way. I said, Okay, thank you, good job. She knew what she was doing. It was too cute. I'm like, I'm leaving. You guys got this. You're covered." So they did a great job.
That's incredible. High five to that little girl.
Yep. So
And I gotta say, Mark, you are so not creepy. So, but wow,
yeah,
that's
it's great. Yeah, and so again, we have the most amazing traffic control teams out there. So many of them have been doing this for so long. They're really good at what they do, and they're very friendly. They're very engaging. They get the crowd going, or I mean, they get the runners excited. They keep the runners pumped up as they're getting through the race. So good stuff.
isn't it interesting how many people think our running community in these races are scary?
Yeah, yeah, it's not intimidating. It's not at all. The the 5K on Friday night, we called an audible about 24 hours before the race because we had a little bit of wind. We had a little bit of wind. You didn't know it because you were nice and warm and
That's right.
cozy inside, but we did. We had about a 20-mile-an-hour wind out of the north, and usually the course was going to go south and then like turn and go up north for like 3/4 of a mile. I thought, I'm a runner. I don't want to do that. Even if, I mean, 5K, 10K, half marathon, I don't want to run in the wind. So we changed the route kind of last minute and shoved them out the north side of the dome. So they had wind at their back as they were leaving. And I didn't think that much about it. I mean, I was just like, I'm going to do this because it'll be nice for the runners. Oh my God. I had 100 people come up to me afterwards. You changed the route. Thank you so much. We were so afraid of having to turn on 15th Avenue and head right into the headwind, and so it was breezy, and we got the wind out of the way Friday night, so Saturday was nice. But that was
Well, that's a real trademark of a pro race director because and I'm trying to think of any of my other race directors would be like, oh, we'll just get out there and change the course. But this is what you do, and this is where you live, and you're so flexible. It's really special.
well, and it was my thought, but the Fargo Dome, the police department, the traffic control barricade company, I mean, they all, I had to run it by everybody and make sure they were cool with it, and yeah, we can do that. So yeah.
Wow, it's impressive. I don't know anyone who would change the course last minute. I'm trying to go through my list of races. I just don't see it
Gary
happening anywhere else.
Gary Kutcher would do it. I guarantee you.
I don't know if Gary Kutcher would do that. I don't think he would, and I love Gary all the
Let me
way.
let me take that back. Gary Kutcher would if Orange County would let him, but they might not let him. So.
Yeah, yeah, they're a little sticky. You definitely have some great flexibility in Fargo, but you've earned that.
Yeah, great community. Yeah, awesome.
So, is there anything else you want to cover from this past week?
I think it's really important to let everybody know how grateful we are for starting off with our sponsors. All of them, starting from Essential Health, who came on as a new sponsor this year. They killed it. As you walked into the dome, you saw the Essential Health lobby was fantastic. I mean, it was just like, wow, we could have stopped at the lobby and not done anything. Other sponsors, BNSF Railway, Marsh McLennan, Choice Financial, Blue Cross Blue Shield of North Dakota. I could go on and on. There's 100 of them. They're all fantastic. Then you get into the volunteers, and I don't think people realize you're talking 1,500 different volunteers from packet pickup to traffic control to the medical stops to the water stops and everything. And I know I'm probably, every race director says this, but it's really important to call these people out. And the cities of Fargo and Moorhead, as everybody knows, in our pre-race show, we changed the course twice within 2 weeks of the event. Because of the flooding, you saw the river. We had record rains in April for our community, and it's still a couple weeks before our river is below flood stage. So being able to pivot quickly and change the route like we did, man, we just, like, the people, the police, and everybody just has this "we can do it" attitude, And we've been through some really bad floods. So this is a minor flood. Honestly, it didn't really affect much. Closed some roads down, but we've been through some bad ones, and they just know they know how important the race is to the community. The mayor of Fargo, Mayor Tim Mahoney's just a huge proponent of the event, as you saw. You and Elvis saw him out there, so that was pretty great. My marathon committee is fantastic. Some of these people have been with us from like day one. Dave Bowe has been there from day one. Sonia Jackson has been day one. Like these people, and they make it work. They make it look easy. They're fantastic, and you've met a lot of them and hung out with them now, and so I'm just I'm really grateful. It was a challenging year. We just had the event in September, so to kick it over and have it again in May, it's putting on 2 big marathons in less than 10 months, and that was a lot to do. But grateful for everyone. Looking forward to 2023. We'll have a full year to market this thing. Hopefully the people that ran it will get out there and push it out on social media, push it out on the race review websites, and tell others to come run Fargo. And we'll do it again. Then next year will be year 19. The next year will be year 20. So we're coming up on some big years for us. So
absolutely. And what Mark just said, everyone needs to heed. If you enjoyed this race, please tell everybody. In fact, share the show. Let people see all the cool things we have going on. But it's a doozy. It really is one heck of a weekend. And then don't leave on Saturday night. Stay to Sunday and have an actual race party. One thing, Mark, that we did not mention, and I'd like to give kudos, is to our anthem singer, Andy Peterson, who not only did she make, give me goosebumps as a raging patriot, but she sang the Canadian anthem too. And what a gift she is to this race. It's a real blessing to hear her sing on race morning.
Yeah, I mean, she's a gem. Andy can sing that national anthems, Canadian and American, as long as she wants to. So Andy's a daughter of my best friend Dana and his wife Paula, and she was a classmate to my daughter Carly, whom you know, and she's going to go on to do great things. She's going to acting school right now. She's a tremendous asset to the event, and she kills it. She brings the Canadians to tears when she sings their anthem, which is great.
Yeah, it's just so wonderful. I love the anthem. That's one of my favorite parts of race day. I really love my country and freedom and all the stuff. But when it's sung well, it's not always sung well.
Yeah.
I point that out. It's not always sung well, but she does an incredible job. Huge shout out to you. I mean, I've seen you work forever. I'm always impressed. I have full faith in a Mark Knutson production that it will be high end and everyone will walk away happy. And at my spot at the finish line, if people are unhappy, I tend to be one of the first people to hear about it. I heard nothing. Everyone was just thrilled with their adventure and loved their swag and their experiences. So thank you for working so hard to make this happen for everybody.
Thank you, Fitz. Again, professional to the nth degree. And I just love knowing I don't have to worry about anything happening at the start or the finish. It's all in good hands. So thank you.
I got you. Now tell us about 2023. What dates are we looking at?
We actually have to move a little bit earlier next year. We had some conflicts with the date. Our normal date's like the third Saturday of May. So we're moving it up a couple of weeks to May 6th, which is not necessarily a bad thing. May 6th, that there's nothing wrong with that. I think May 6th this year was probably pretty nice. Was a pretty nice day. I think I remember going out and running that first weekend in May, and I think it was like 60 or 65 degrees that morning when I ran. But so May 6th will be marathon day. Of course, everything else will start, the Monday before with the bike race and the dog run and the kids race. So yeah, get on it. Registration opened up yesterday, or actually opened up Sunday right away after marathon. So we're hoping for good things. We've got like I said, a full year versus what we had last year, kind of going from September to May. It's a quick turnaround. But let's get the world back to pre-COVID mentality. Let's get back. We're back on schedule now. We're going to be a year from now. We're going to get this thing going in May. You've got all year to train for it. Think about it. Think about what you want to do. I think we're going to have some great things. I'm looking forward to putting together some awesome medals and some awesome swag for next year. And yeah, it's going to be a great time.
All right. So we've got time. That's fargomarathon.com. And Mark, how about we watch that video again on our way out?
Absolutely. Sounds great to me.
Thanks again. Love you, everybody. Bye. Let's stick around. Here we go.